Hello, it's the lore freak Kalena again. Before we start, I need to warn you that this one will contain some huge spoilers, precisely cutscenes from the 9.1 PTR, so watch it on your own risk. Let's dive in. Since the announcement of Shadowlands, the Jailer, or how I prefer to call him as Zoal, and Sylvanas have been presented as the main antagonists of the expansion and the ones who would lead the story further. But as 9.1 getting closer, and I had the chance to look at the Sylvanas encounter, I feel like they are preparing for a glorious climax for Sylvanas and the Jailer. Meanwhile, brewing, in my opinion, a more interesting story away from prying eyes, the story of the two actual masterminds of the expansion, Sire Denathrius and the Primus.
While you remained fixated on a paltry medallion, we seized the true prize, Remornia, with the Sire's essence held within it. Our mission never changed. For eons, we have done the Master's bidding in secret across countless realities. The Legion, the Scourge, Argus, all pawns in a game beyond your grasp. One that now nears its end.
First, I need to point out what I think about the Natrism and Sire Denathrius were being literally behind everything happened since Warcraft 3. To be honest, I like the current storytelling about the Dreadlords, and Sire Denathrius being behind everything all along is in fact a cool idea. Connecting every single lore moment with each other into the 9.1 perfectly. Because by their nature Dreadlords, or the unseen guests, were always a sinister race, always having backup plans. Even during Warcraft 3, after the defeat of the Burning Legion, they kinda were like, who cares, we are the Natrism. Let's remember what Detarok has said.
You seek to overthrow him, and you want my help to do it.
The Legion may be defeated, but we are the Nathrazim. We'll not let some upstart human get the best of us.
You see, even back in the day, they still could rally themselves after the defeat of the Burning Legion. With this knowledge, the Natrism have been working on Sire Denathrius all along. The fact that Ner'zhul toyed the Dreadlords to escape from the Legion's grasp and pulled Arthas to himself gains an entire new insight. Because according to Chronicle Volume 3, Ner'zhul simply deceived the Dreadlords to help Arthas as much as he can. Or, in the light of this news, he thought he deceived them, as Dreadlords could guess that Ner'zhul wished to free from the Legion's grasp, but they did not care. After all, probably the dominant voice in the helm what belonged to Zoal even then, so they gladly helped and died if necessary to provide Lich King an actual body. So, these details are retcons? I think not, but they gave a deeper meaning to everything happened in Warcraft 3 and provided us a fresh insight into the events. Arthas' fate has been decided in the Shadowlands by Zoal. Isn't that cool? Or, imagine during Wrath of the Lich King, the one who spoke through the Lich King's mouth wasn't actually Arthas, who has been dominated, but Zoal. Wouldn't that grant you a new, interesting insight into the events happened back in the day? So, in my opinion, Sire Denathrius is the true mastermind of the Shadowlands expansion and beyond. The Natrism lore has an incredible potential, and we may see Denathrius as a boss in the future patches or maybe in expansions. If I were Blizzard, I would not waste Natrism's potential this expansion, Sylvanas and Zoval's story may end at the end of 9.1, or at the least they will lose their place at the front stage, and Sire Denathrius and his true motivations provide a great potential, because, as Mal'Ganis has stated, their plans are surpassing the Legion, Argus, and even Shadowlands itself, and at the moment, they are my main interest in the lore, to be honest. I have speculated before that Denathrius found what has been done to Zoval unjust, and that's why he is helping him. But in my opinion, he still values his own agenda than Zoval's goals. As Mal'Ganis has said, Denathrius was Nathrezim's true master and will always be, not Zoval. To sum up, I expect to see more of the Nathrezim and Sire Denathrius in the upcoming expansions. I don't think we will fight against Denathrius during the expansion for the second time, but I can give you a solid boss prediction. The Primus. Yes. No matter how will the Shankton of Domination raid end, the Primus will be revealed at the next year's final boss, and we will also learn he was the one who has crafted the Arbiter during 9.1, where the Eternal Ones explained why Zoval has been banished. The Winter Queen states the Primus was the one who led them against Zoval, as we have speculated before in this channel.
In the Arbiter's name, we answer the call of the Eternal Ones.
This brazen attack on Bastion must be answered. Has your wound healed, Grestia?
No. But that is of little consequence compared to what was stolen.
What was the Jailer after?
Long ago, each of the Eternal Ones was given a symbol of our Covenant's purpose. Yet Zoval saw these sigils as keys to forbidden knowledge.
When we rebuked his heresy, he tried to claim them by force.
But in the end, the Primus led us to victory.
And for his treachery, Zoval was exiled forevermore.
Yet even bound to the Maw, he found allies to aid his cause. No doubt Sire Denathrius willingly offered his sigil to the Banished One.
We have found no such sigil within the sanctum of the Primus.
The essence of the Arbiter remains here. It must be protected.
Before getting into the Primus, I need to ask this. Why would you banish your own brother, for only he wished to learn forbidden knowledge? Even the Titans did not directly attack Sargeras until he killed Agramar, one of their own. An unacceptable act in their ranks, of course. But these Eternal Ones banishes Zoval into the Maw only for his seeked for knowledge. What precisely he was looking for? Maybe that forbidden knowledge was about how to free the first ones from the void. Maybe the case formed from the Eternal Ones' very beings were actually the keys sealed the void, so the first ones could not escape. Turning back on the point, the first option in my mind is like this. We will be defeated in the end of the upcoming raid, and Zoval will take what has been stolen from him, the seal of the Arbiter, and will regain his original looking. After that, he will explain the one who have architected this whole new anime flow, the Primus. But this is where our theory goes a bit crazy. Zoval and the Primus, in my opinion, were actually twins, considering how they almost look identically similar. After Zoval regained his true form, the Primus gone wild, and by using the domination runes around Zoval's body, he will stop playing the good guy and will dominate the Jailer completely. So, in the upcoming patch, the Primus would be the last boss, while Zoval would be the penultimate one, in full control of the Primus, and we will save him through the usual boss beating method. The other option is, after Zoval regains his final form, he will be the end boss of the next year. But when we defeat him, or during the end cinematic of the raid, we will learn that Primus was the mastermind of all the actual evil of the Shadowlands, and we, as always, helped the bad guy all along. He was the one who had crafted the Arbiter. Now with his mask dropped, he will await us as the final boss of the upcoming raid. How about Crestia and the Winter Queen? Well, I believe Crestia would switch sides and would side with Zoval this time, because I believe due to the influence of devils on her, she tends to be more open-minded, unlike the past. How about the Winter Queen? Well, I believe she would just stay at the backstage and observe everything happening around her, as she is the sinister one. She would not want to get unnecessary attention, but if she had to, the Primus, the Jailer, and the Winter Queen would provide an incredible sized ending raid for the expansion, just like how on Taurus the Burning Throne was back in Legion 7.3. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you on the later videos about Elune and beyond. I am sorry if this video felt like lackluster in terms of editing or my voice comparing to previous ones. I apologize. It's been a tiring week for me, but I could not rest if I did not share this exciting theory with you guys. Please let me know what you think. If you subscribe, you would give me your greatest support. Until next time.